can think about a new lady in America.
Welcome to Millionairess live TV show. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Robin Gifters. I am the publisher of Editor-in-Chief. Amanda, today.
I can't wait to unpack some of the amazing wisdom today in these magazines. Make sure you've got your journal and a lovely cup of tea because you're going to need it.
Absolutely. And today, in the next 45 minutes, we are going to share with you wisdom from our Issue 2 magazine. We have so much to get through, so if it's okay with you, Amanda, I'd like to dive straight in.
Jump right on in. Yep.
So a lot of the interviews that I was going through when we're looking at Issue 2, a common theme that came up in the magazine from all the conversations that you were having with these amazing ladies and the wisdom coming from you was about how important personal development is. So how important it is to work on yourself and actually to spend time each day working on yourself. And I know you're a very big advocate of this and very passionate about it. So I'd love you to share a little bit about that with everyone watching us today.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk with the entrepreneurial woman out there because as a woman myself, been in the trenches of business for more than 30 years, I understand that most of the time we put everybody else before our own needs. And the truth is, and I hope you've got your journal, that our self-worth is in direct proportion to our net worth and our life worth, which I'll explain a bit more in a moment. And so it begins with us. Yeah. And if we can't show ourselves self-love, give ourselves the time of day each and every day to elevate our self-worth, then we can't possibly hope to elevate our net worth as entrepreneurs. So for instance, each morning I have a bit of a ritual and I'll share it with the...
And I can vouch for that.
Yeah. Because I learned so many years ago, I had very low self-esteem, my confidence was at an all-time low. However, I realised that the more I worked on myself and gave myself the gift of time each morning, and I understand that for mums and busy women, this is not the easiest thing, it's easier said than done. Every morning I get out of bed and I put on what I call my magic pants. Now, let me explain what she's
not making that up. That is legitimately what she calls them.
I have magic pants because here's the truth. Wouldn't you agree that when you change into different types of outfits that your physiology changes? And so every morning, no matter how I'm feeling, I take 15 to 20 minutes out of my day and sometimes up to an hour. I put on my magic pants, which is my workout gear. And instantly I've gone from sleep mode to workout mode. My physiology changes. I feel different about myself. I take time out to journal, do my gratitudes. Yep. Think about all the things that I'm grateful for in life, all the things that I have, and I start to plan my day. And what that does, it sets me up for owning my day instead of everything else getting in the way. Yeah. And this is so important for entrepreneurial women.
Amanda actually shared this tip with me and throughout the magazine, but luckily for me, in this journey with Amanda, publishing this magazine, I get to hear a lot of this wisdom. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to, ask Amanda and talk about this with Amanda, because Amanda actually shared this with me, and I've implemented this into my life where I get up every morning and have a ritual. And I shared with Amanda last week a story where I hadn't followed this routine. So I don't necessarily have magic pants, but I do have a magic ritual.
Get some magic pants.
Yeah, I need to invest in those. But I didn't follow. And I got up, as many of us do these days, and I turned to my phone. Now, there was a pretty good reason because we just launched Issue 2 and I was super excited. But I checked my phone first and I started, sort of running on the treadmill of work and getting my head into that. And I messaged Amanda and I said, you know what, I didn't follow your advice today. And what happened to me was I spilt my warm lemon juice, I burnt the kids' toast, and I had my shirt on backwards. And I think, Amanda, that's what you're really alluding to, is that if you set your day up right, it means that the rest of your day, you call it life by design.
Life by design, day by design. And I just want to add in one more thing here, and I take notes, please, because it really can change your life by just 1 degree. We're talking about if you turn your life compass by just 1 degree, such a difference. I have this, I don't like rules, but I have this thing that I absolutely refuse to turn on my phone or my laptop before I've taken care of self. Remember, self-worth equals our net worth equals our life worth, especially as an entrepreneur. And so what can happen is we get an email or a message on the internet or a text message or
DM.
a comment in our Facebook or Instagram that upsets us. And what does that do, girls? It sets our day up where somebody else is in control, living in your head rent-free. And to be success in entrepreneurship, we need to be in control of our life and our decisions.
Absolutely. And I this isn't just something that Amanda advocates. You know, as well as that, there are contributors in our magazine that have discussed this exact thing. Emily Vavra talks about it. In particular, one remarkable interview that Amanda, or conversation I should say, it was more of a conversation of two peers, was with Kim Kiyosaki. And Kim Kiyosaki really spoke about the importance of a morning ritual to set up her day and her life. Now, we've got a clip from Kim Kiyosaki where Amanda was interviewing her, so we're just going to cross to that clip and then we'll come back and chat a little bit more about it, because I think this is a really important point.
But that's very true. I mean, I would not be where I am today if not for personal development. Both Robert and I are huge advocates. We work a lot on ourselves. I mean, every morning I have a morning ritual. Every morning, most mornings, I wake up, get my coffee. That's always first, coffee. But then I read from one of my spiritual books, one of my personal development books. You know, I have a stack of like 5 that I circulate through all the time, always looking for new books. Then I'll read something and you watch your mind. You gotta really be aware. And this really applies to money as well. When you're dealing with money and you have if you can catch those like little negative thoughts you might have, or little angst when maybe your spouse says, well, what did you spend that money on? And where did that go? And that angst, and you kind of pay attention to that. But I'll do some reading and then I'll journal on whatever my thought is at the time. I'll just write whatever it is. And then sometimes I will do a little meditation. But that time for me is crucial.
So of course you can see there that even Kim Kiyosaki, someone as successful as her, still takes the time and the energy to have this daily ritual that she sticks to like glue. So, Amanda, for me and for a lot of potential entrepreneurial women out there who are pulled in every direction, as you said in the intro, they might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, but how do I find time? So, Amanda, I'd love to do what you're saying, but I don't have time to even put on, I don't have time to put magic pants on. What would you say to them thinking that right now?
Well, I'm going to get right to the point, because I understand as an entrepreneurial woman, we all say things like this, and I've done it myself. I've made up excuse after excuse after excuse. The thing is this: wouldn't you agree we all find time for what's most important in our life? If you're an entrepreneurial woman and you want success, whatever that looks like for you, we will always find the time to do the things that are important and things that matter. Do we need to get up 15 minutes extra of a morning, go to bed 15 minutes early each night, set the alarm for a different time? Say no to more people, to more...
Hope you're writing this down, because I'm nodding, because this is all...
To more social things. And I have learned to say no, thank you. Or thank you, but no thank you. You have something that's far more important than letting everybody else pull you in different directions. And once you start to get on that trajectory and learn to say no, learn to control your habits, life can change in a heartbeat. It doesn't have to be hard. In fact, it's quite easy once you make the decision and you commit to what's more important: your family, your future, your health, your success, and you can really find the time. I don't believe any woman out there cannot find 15 minutes each day.
I think you've poked a little bit of a bear with me, and I'm sure it's probably with you, is that
so.
In a good way, and I say that in a positive sense, is that you're right, and I think you share I think it's one of the modules, I know it's one of the modules, that in your program that you will put your time into where your values lie. So if you have a look at your diary and where you're spending your time, that's and what you just said there is basically what you're saying to us, is that if look at where we're spending our time in our day and how we're spending our time in our day, and if we can't carve out, so you think 15 minutes to start with?
Whatever you believe that you're worth. The thing is, your net worth equals your self-worth. So how far do you want to go in life? What do you see in the future for you and your family? What do you want your life to be like in every way? And you start to carve out that time, and interestingly enough, the moment you start to get results first internal, then external, you find a little more time.
Oh,
it's the truth.
So true.
It's
so
truth.
true. And when Amanda shared this with me, it was about, taking a little bit of hurt at first to put the alarm to, 5:30 a.m. to be up, to carve out that time in my day. It does mean going a little earlier. And, it's remarkable, the change. It is absolutely remarkable.
1 degree, that's all we've got to turn it.
Yeah, 1 degree. And so I think we should leave the ladies with a little bit of homework for this one, because I think the ladies watching are going, okay, great. So Amanda, what's a bit of a, something they can do? Like, how can they weave this into their life? Have you got any ideas?
Yeah, make a decision right now and tomorrow. Write down today, or think about today, what's one thing that you can do tomorrow that is different from every day before.
Yeah.
What is your magic pants? What's your magic outfit? Or take 10 to 15 minutes to do some journaling and start to think about and plan about what you would love your future to look like. And that's all it takes. It just starts with one tiny action in a different direction, and over time you will arrive at a different place.
Yeah. So rather than overwhelming yourself and trying to fundamentally flip, and Amanda talks all the time about the 1 degree, and I think, again, as entrepreneurial women, we can do this, I don't know how to call it, but the deep end, where we jump off the deep end and we think we've got to fundamentally, catastrophically transform our life, but it's just a little 1 degree. Yeah, the 1 degree. So I hope you've written that down as a little bit of homework for yourself, is to carve out just 15 minutes even just to do something special for yourself and invest in yourself. Now, Amanda, you talk, you've done it probably 2 or 3 times already, and you probably don't even know it because it just oozes out of you. It's behind you on a poster. Self-worth, net worth, and life worth.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on a little bit about net worth and the importance of, what does that really mean? Like, throughout the magazine, I know, because I know what it means, but for people listening and watching us today, what do you mean when you say net worth?
Well, net worth, it can be money, but really thinking about the sum of life. Where we are in our life right now is the sum of all of our thoughts and our actions and our decisions prior to now. So I'm talking to entrepreneurial women, and none of us start a business to not make more money, have a better life, elevate ourselves in our lifestyle, and to be able to give to others and help elevate other people through our products and services. And so net worth is equal in proportion to your self-worth. So, and that depends on the value that you bring to the market. And so this is why it's so important to take care of yourself and practice self-love, because the money will not come. Money goes from the hands of those who value it the least to those who value it the most. And I understand so many people. I hope everyone
wrote that down. That's a gem.
People have a real charge about money. So I want you to ask yourself right now, as I'm talking about money, how are you feeling about money? What are your beliefs around money? Do you have any money? And do you pay yourself first? So many entrepreneurial women pay everything and everyone first, and there's nothing left in their businesses.
Yeah, and look, that was another conversation that Amanda had with Emily Vavra. She's a very successful millionairess, and she was talking about just literally about that point, that in order to really earn the money that you, and as you said, it's not just about the money, it's a quality in life, and we're going to talk a little bit actually more about that later, but to actually really understand what you're worth and to value your own time. So if it's, I'll show you the clip. Well, let's have a look at
this crossover. We'll come back.
Yeah, and we'll come back.
Many people are charged about money, and money is part of being successful. Money is part of our life and the entrepreneurial journey. And would you say that to be successful, of course, to become a millionairess in your own right in your business, you need to break through these limiting beliefs. And I know you would have done a lot of work with that. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, first of all, break through the limiting beliefs you're speaking of, and whether it's conscious or subconscious, to feel confident about asking for the sale, because we're all usually selling something, right? But also the value of your time. And I had to really learn the value of my time. And when I wanted to become a millionaire, my mentor said, okay, a millionaire makes $500 an hour. So how are you spending your time, and what kind of tasks are you doing? And can you hire somebody else to do what you're not great at? And, I really started shifting my focus, and my brain started to really be more transactional, be more return on investment, be more results based. And that's really when I became a businesswoman.
Yeah.
You know, when I just stopped wasting time and I started to value myself, therefore I valued my time, and I just stopped giving it all away.
So you heard there that Emily Vavra talked about, and I really love the line she said, where she said that she spoke to her mentor and I want to be a millionaire, and they said, well, if you in a millionaire earns $500 an hour, so you have to be really protective of how you spend your time, who you're spending your time with. And I know you've just talked about how for you that's critical, in that you value your time implicitly, and that you've but I guess what I'd like to dig into is, how did you come to valuing your time so much, Amanda? How did you know that you had to start valuing your time, and that you were putting your time, probably more importantly, in the right place?
I'm going to really talk to the heart and soul of the entrepreneurial woman, because I think that most of you, I believe we're all entrepreneurs. However, again, as women, we often, well, most likely, are so worried about what other people think about us, what other people are going to say. You know, we can get around women and you feel pulled in so many different directions, trying to please and appease everyone. Then we've got the children, then we've got our partners, and we've got friends and relationships. And on top of that, we're trying to grow a business.
Yeah.
And so it gets to the point where something's got to give. Either you're going to give or something else is going to give. And this is where we've got to become masterful at saying thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
And when I go back to self-worth, this is really then honing in on how important is your family, how important are your own goals and dreams, how important is your future, your health and your well-being, everything. And so we've got to weigh up what's got to give, because we can't be everything to everyone, we can't do everything.
Yep.
And when it comes back to business again, it's very, very important how we perceive ourselves, because how we perceive ourselves is how our customers are going to perceive us. Where we spend our time and our energy matters. How we show up matters.
Yeah. So at the moment, there's a lot of us sitting out there that are, you know, either working from home, or a lot of entrepreneurial women actually do work from home. That's their, you know, their little businesses are created, not they're little, I don't mean little, I mean, but their businesses are created from home. It's their anchor. It's where they work from. So getting up in your pajamas and going to your desk is not something that you think we should be doing?
I'm not laughing at anyone. I mean, you know, you're probably sitting there going, well, I'm in my pajamas. What's wrong with my pajamas, Amanda? Yeah. Look, here's the truth. And I've been in this space for 30 years, and I had to work my way through this. Countless mentors, countless time in the trenches, so many uphill moments, downhill moments, and everything in between. But here's what I have learnt, and I know from experience. Whatever we're wearing and however we're showing up affects our physiology, and we attract. How we feel about ourselves is who we are going to attract into our life. And so thinking about your business, put yourself in your customer's shoes. Whether you've got a home-based business or a bricks and mortar business, how are you showing up? I love to call this how you wrap your package truly matters. So think about your package as yourself. And so how you dress, how you do your hair or not, how you take care of your personal body.
The environment around you that you're working
your
in.
Environment. If it's in a clutter, if it's all cluttered and messy out there, it's cluttered and messy in here. And ask yourself the question, if somebody was to turn up on your doorstep today, your most valued customer, someone that you've been wanting to attract into your business for years, turned up on your door, knocked on the door, how would you feel if you opened it and you didn't know that they were coming? And so I truly believe that it does matter. And
I think some people might be going, oh no, I'm hiding, I'm going to hide and look out the curtain, I'm not going to let them in.
Because you change. You ask yourself the question, if you're in your daggy pants and you've got stains on your t-shirt and you haven't washed your hair for a week or something, and you're just not your best, you're not showing up, you're not feeling your greatest. And then all of a sudden you've got to go to an important ball, you need to buy a gown, get your hair done, take care of yourself. would you agree that you feel totally different?
Oh, it's the way you stand.
The way you stand,
Yeah.
and you attract different people, different conversations,
Yeah.
different elevations of net worth.
Yeah.
If you want to attract more into your life, you've got to become more. That's one of the greatest lessons I've learned
Yeah.
from the late Jim Rohn. I think that's worth writing down.
Yeah, I absolutely
So
agree.
you become.
I think, and I completely and utterly agree that how you show up, and it can be, we can get a little bit sloppy with, taking into bad habits of, oh, well, no one's coming over today, and, I'll wear my tracky dacks, and, I've been guilty of the newsreader look where I've had, nice top on and then some comfy pants underneath, where I'm being on Zoom, but nobody can see this bit.
That's okay.
Yeah, but it does. It changes the way you show up to everything. But even deeper than that, I wanted to, if we've got time to do it, we're not going to be able to dive right in, but I'd really like to touch on this so a lot of the reasons, entrepreneurial women and women in general can start to not wrap their package right is because they're not feeling great about their business. They're not feeling like they're loving what they're doing, and, they're just not, it's just not making their heart fill. And I know you love it. Yeah, I know. And I wasn't. This is not on here. I'm throwing a left field.
I know where she's going with this.
Yeah, we read each other's
This is
minds.
good. This is for your benefit, gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's why I want to do it, because I started to think about myself and anyone else out there watching that might be going, yeah, but sometimes the reason I'm doing that is because I'm really unhappy, getting a bit teary.
How you feel showing up.
Yeah. So can you explain to those women why that might be? Like why when they turn up their laptop and they're facing their computer and they're not loving what they're doing, like what that could be? We can't dive into it too deeply today, but you can.
That's a whole masterclass on its own. I honestly know how that feels. I have been there so many times. And I understand how it feels to feel unworthy, lack of belief in myself, lost and confused. And what I discovered through 14 different businesses is that unless you are truly, authentically aligned, and I know those words get thrown around, but I'm truly talking purposely aligned with a business that is truly you, it is hard to feel good about yourself. It's hard to show up in an authentic way. It's hard to feel elevated with your self-worth and your self-love.
Yeah.
And so I say to every entrepreneurial woman that before you jump into a business, especially if you're thinking about getting into a business or you're wanting to scale up, before you do that, it is so critically important to invest in yourself, get to know yourself, and really learn to know who you are and what your true purpose is. Now, everybody talks about that word all the time, but we are all born with intrinsic gifts and talents, and it's about bringing those to the surface through soulful serving.
My favourite two words.
Soulful serving. And when you truly are aligned with your business and you soulfully serve with your products and your services, then I've just got a smile just talking about it. You truly do get to tap dance to work, or you turn your vocation into your vacation. And this is the sort of stuff that I love to share with other women, because 7 of my businesses were miserable failures, and I'm so grateful. And 7 of them, through soulful serving and being aligned authentically with who I am, who I was born to be, have been we talk about success. However, I've got so far to go. I'm just getting going. I'm just starting on this.
Yeah, and I think soulful serving is such a beautiful 2 words. And
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And I think for a lot of women, the charge, like you've talked around charge around money, and we're going to talk about that a bit more later, but the charge around sales and that word that just gives everyone this I don't want to, it feels icky and I don't love it. But what you have shared with me, and it's going to be coming up in future issues, is that if you learn to soulfully serve and you believe in what you're doing and that it's on purpose, share what it is. Like, how do you know that you're soulfully serving? What are the clues?
Please put a comment in the box if you have a thing around money you feel icky about asking for your worth
or a question
or the value that you bring. Soulfully serving simply means serving others in their values, taking the attention from you and the outcome that you want to get to solving a problem for somebody else. And think about it like a mentor. And you will know if you are speaking to someone, whether your products or services can solve a problem for somebody else. It's not like trying to shove it down their throat.
Yes.
It's asking questions. And I say, you know, if you learn to become masterful at question askering, is that a great...
Absolutely.
Is that a statement?
We need to trademark
question
that.
askering. You will naturally begin to sell from the soul or serve from the soul, because money is just an exchange. It's just energy.
Yeah.
And so you will make in exact proportion to the value you bring, to the service that you bring. And so I have a very healthy relationship with money. Kim Kiyosaki and I talked about it. She has a very healthy relationship with money. And we want you to have a very healthy relationship with money.
Yeah.
If you make money in your business, it simply means you care about other people. You're solving problems.
Yeah, you're serving
them.
Yeah.
And I want to do a whole masterclass on that
we
particular.
could literally...
Give us a comment if you would love a masterclass on selling and serving or soulfully serving.
Absolutely. And I think, so I'm going to put myself in the shoes of, you know, whoever's watching us today, and I'm going to not play devil's advocate because I'm not that nasty, but you know, I'd like to just pose some questions. So I've got an online business, I'm selling on whether it's Shopify or Amazon, and are you telling me that my little widget that I've got to soulfully serve? Is that what you're saying to the ladies out there?
I am, and it's the story. You just say it's a beautiful necklace or a watch or something like that, or a tea set.
Well,
you know,
actually, you soulfully served fitness equipment.
Fitness
Tell that
equipment.
story.
Okay, I'll give you a story. Something that's true.
Yeah.
Years ago, I used to sell fitness equipment on the internet, on my own website, and eBay, back in the day when eBay was massive. Years ago, I was a personal trainer, but I have such enthusiasm around fitness and health and well-being. It's my number one value. And so when I went to the market, I thought about all the things that I would love, all the problems that I would love to solve for people. And so that's where you can begin. What are the problems you can help other people overcome? Because people always have money to avoid pain or to solve a problem or to get a solution to something they want to avoid.
Yeah.
And so we used to manufacture and import fitness equipment, and I still love it so much. And so through my copywriting, I would tell stories and things like that, and I'd do personal mentoring and give little things away and value add.
I hope you're all listening to this, because from a treadmill. So we're talking about a mechanical machine. Amanda's been able to create
We were the number one seller.
There you go. A heart-filled business. So understanding that soulful serving, you know, when Amanda teaches us soulful serving, is that it's about finding, one, the problem that you're solving.
Yep.
And then it's two, it's weaving that through your entire business. So you heard Amanda just say then, I hope you wrote that down in your copywriting, whether it's your Facebook posts, it includes copywriting in those, that you are actually thinking about the problem that you're solving, rather than what we all get trapped into is, oh, it has a fast something or other and 5 speed. Yeah, what we call the features.
I've just got to share one thing there. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's okay for you, or that's not true. You know, the thing is this, just imagine you're on eBay or your website and there's thousands of people selling the same fitness equipment, which there were. But I put my heart and soul into that business. I called it my baby. I loved it so much. But more importantly, what I really loved is not the equipment, I loved the people. Now write this down. Fall in love with serving the people, not your product or your service or anything like that. Yeah. And literally, we were making far more money, because back in those days they had auctions. Yep. We were selling our products and our fitness equipment for up to $200 to $300 more than the other competitors selling the same piece of equipment. Why? Because people could feel the love and the care through our copywriting. Because here's the truth, write this down, this is a golden nugget. People don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
Yeah,
that's soulful serving.
Absolutely. And I think, again, we'll weave this back to where we started this
I'm just getting
section.
up.
I know, have a drink. Yeah. Wet the lips. But we started...
Wet your whistle.
Wet your whistle. We started this section of what we're talking about who would have thought that we could start with pajamas, and we've ended up about soulful serving. But I think...
We weren't even talking about that today.
Yeah, no, we weren't. Like I said, I pulled it because it was just so important, because I was thinking about the entrepreneurial women out there, and that there's always it's a symptom of what's really going on. And I think that's a lot of it, is that they're not making the money they were hoping to out of their business, and You know, and it comes back to, but it's almost like you've got to reverse engineer. In order to re-fall in love with your business, you have to spend the time, as what we talked about.
Fall in love with the people, not your business.
Yeah, and yourself, is to value yourself.
Love self, elevate self, fall in love with your customers, those who you want to serve.
Yeah, so we've got self-worth,
net worth elevates, and then we move into life worth. They're the three things.
So we're going to get into life worth in a second, but I wanted to just touch on, again, I love to have a bit of a, for me, and I hope you're the same, is I like to be given, okay, I love what you're saying, tell me what I've got to do. So we've got the first lot of homework for self-worth, you know, we've talked about that and what we want, you know, to weave out maybe 15 minutes in the day just for themselves. So in order to help people move towards elevating their net worth, what would you suggest that, you know, these gorgeous women do? What is something that they can do right now to start moving them towards that 1 degree towards this place?
Think about the people that you would truly love to solve problems for. You know, what is the need that they have? What are the solutions that you could offer them? And thinking about, we talked about wrapping your package. How are you showing up in your business? What are people seeing? What do they perceive about you? So what I would say, the action step from that is, how can you just turn the dial by 1 degree, wrap your package a little differently by elevating your self-love, your self-worth, and how could you focus more on attracting the customers into your business that you want? What are the problems that you could solve in your business that could truly attract the type of client or the type of customer that will pay you more for your value of service? Soulfully serving.
So we're going to sit down and we're going to go through and look at who is the person that we're really serving. And I'm already ahead to my next question because I've got one, if that's okay, is what if I don't love what I'm doing? What if I sit down and I have that moment where I'm starting out? How do I really dive into what it is that I'm, you know, I know it's a big question.
This is a big question.
But I mean more just a little snippet of what if we send these lovely women off to do their homework and they go, well, actually, I absolutely detest what I'm doing. You've had to have that conversation with yourself. So.
I have many times. To be quite honest, I have not loved what I'm doing, and so I have learnt the power of taking the focus off myself and asking myself, how is this not in the way but on the way? Who am I serving? How am I changing other people's lives? And how can I turn my own life compass dial by just 1 degree? But also, Robin, I've had the discussion with myself when I've just known I am in the wrong vehicle, and it's not a failure.
No.
It's a symptom. The way that, you know, we know if we don't feel good about it, it's okay. Don't feel like a failure. I've had 14 businesses. 7 of them were not right for me, and I've had to learn along the way. And sometimes it's like a jacket that doesn't fit anymore, or a car that's just not right for you. A bit like your car breaking down yesterday, and you've gone, this is not the right car for me. I'm getting a new car.
And I knew it, and I've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 months. And then the universe gave me the ultimate slap, and there it was, right there in front of me.
So don't feel like a failure. Sometimes you've just got to know that you know that you know. And it's okay. And so you can readjust, realign. And then if you find your true, well, not find your true purpose, discover or, you know, unravel your own purpose, which is not hard. We can talk about that on another time. And start to think about the people you'd love to serve and create a business around that, and you can truly elevate your self-worth and your net worth. I know it because I've done it 7 times in 7 businesses, and it's a different payoff. It's not only a financial payoff, it's a soul payoff. So mentally and emotionally, it's every area of your life is different when you truly create and scale a business that is truly aligned with you. And it's not difficult.
So I think everyone needs to take a big breath now. Because that was a lot, but it was so powerful, and I hope it has really landed for me. So I hope for you, or everyone listening and watching, that it really has landed for you too. Because
and pop your questions in if you have questions.
Because we'll definitely take a little bit of time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. Now I want to switch gears slightly and come back to you've mentioned a couple of times today around charge, around money, and I've certainly noticed this. We've launched the magazine, as you know, we're on issue 2. And we're putting a lot of content out there with Millionairess branding on it. And 99% of the feedback has been remarkable, and we're so grateful, and we love hearing from you. Yeah, we love it. Please keep telling us where, what you're loving and what you'd like to see more of, because we really do listen. But there's been a little bit of, this whole, the rich, money. And there's also, when I was listening to the Kim Kiyosaki interview for probably the 10th time, because there's so much wisdom in it. She actually talked about the charge around money. So before I get into talking about it with you, let's go to the Kim Kiyosaki conversation that you had around money, because it's really powerful. And then I'd like to bring us back and talk about this charge that so many people have around money.
And ask yourself how you feel about money.
Amanda, when I was growing up, and I didn't know why I was doing this, but I was, of the 3 girls, I was the only one in high school that had a job because I wanted my own money. So when I went to college, I figured out how to get free tuition. I had a job throughout college so that I didn't depend upon mom and dad for my money. And for me, it was the same as you. It's freedom. It's freedom. And when you're dependent, if I was dependent on mom and dad, I got to follow their rules. Well, if I'm not dependent on them, I don't have to follow anybody's rules. I follow my own rules. And so for me, I wanted that financial freedom because I did not want to be dependent on anybody. And money is a very psychotic subject. Yes. Very, very psychotic. And then, the saying, he who has the gold makes the rules. Well, he or she who has the money makes the rules. And so I see a lot of women today. I never, ever, ever want to ever have to justify why I want to buy something. I don't want to ever have to ask permission if I want to buy something. And that comes with, you got to put in the time and you got to put in the effort, but the rewards are great. I see too many couples, too many women in bad relationships because they don't think they can make it on their own financially, in jobs they hate, because they need that paycheck. And so if a woman to me says, oh, money's not that important, I said, well, then quit your job. If it's not so important, leave your horrible marriage. But money has the power to either enslave you. Yeah. And I see a lot of women who are enslaved either by spouses, by family members, but it also has the power to set you free.
I gotcha. Okay, so there, Kim Kiyosaki, the line I love that I've written down for myself is where she says that a lot of women say, well, money's not that important. And she says back to them, well, quit your job or leave your dysfunctional relationship or something. I'm not quoting her directly, but I just love that. And money is a topic that you love to talk about, that you have absolutely no charge in a negative sense around whatsoever. Why for you and for all, most of these successful women, why is money so important?
Because I believe I had this conversation with Kim that money affects everything that is important. So think about your family. Money affects what type of food you eat, what type of food you put on the table, where you shop, where you live, the type of security that we get to live with, the schools we send our children to, our health and well-being for now and into the future. Thinking about our parents and other people that we want to help in life. If we don't have money, we can't help the people that we love, the charities that we want to take care of. And so when people say money doesn't matter, I instantly see that they've got conditioning from the past, or they have beliefs around money that are disempowering. And if you truly have disempowering beliefs around money, how can we even hope to have a successful business? And this is why I always say people run after bright, shiny object type of businesses all the time because they believe that if you're going to get into that business and it's successful for you, then I'll get into that business and it'll be successful for me. But it's just not true. So if you have empowered beliefs around money and you don't have any charges and you love to soulfully serve, and yet I have stinking thinking around money, then if we've got the exact same business, you're more likely to succeed and I'm definitely going to fail. Definitely. There is no two ways about it. And so you ask yourself, how do you feel around money? Does it make you squirm? Are you getting pissy about what I'm saying here? Because some women get quite angry. And yet money matters. It really affects so much in our life. And I just see it as energy. It's just paper.
Yeah.
It could be cabbages for all I care.
Yeah, an exchange of value.
Here's the thing. If you're solving problems,
Yeah.
and you're taking care and eliminating other people's worries, and they're paying you money, then that means you care for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have any money, you don't care about people. If you're an entrepreneur,
Wow.
and I'm going to say it straight up.
Yeah, wow, and that's and it's hard hitting, but it's the truth.
Comment if you don't agree. Comment.
Yep.
But it's the truth. If you're an entrepreneur and you have no money in the bank, you're more worried about you than serving. Because wouldn't you agree? If somebody can take away a problem, take away some pain, you have a solution, they gladly pay money.
Yeah.
So think about your child, for instance. Just say you've got a small child and it's climbed up into his or her tree house,
Yep.
fallen down on the ground and
Yep.
broken their arm.
Yep.
They need to go to hospital and you need to pay some money to get the limb fixed. Will you find money to do that? Absolutely. People always have money for what's important, but if you want to attract it into your life, you've got to have good feelings and a good vibration around it.
And I think
You'll frighten it off otherwise.
honestly, and you can hear how passionate Amanda is about this
I
topic.
want you to be rich.
Yeah, it's part of why we've created, well, it's a big chunk of why we've created the Millionairess magazine and movement, because the charge around money is just such, especially for women, as you said, it's such a prickly subject. It's such but I think if we anchor it back now to soulful serving, that this charge around money often comes because we don't believe in ourselves, the self-worth.
Exactly.
Then we don't increase our net worth because we're not truly aligned with what we're doing in business.
Yep.
And then that affects the bottom line. It affects the money coming in and how we feel about ourselves.
So look in your cash register right now, look in your bank account, look in your purse, and that will tell you how you feel and you think about money. Now,
Yep.
I've had to learn that. You know, I grew up in a family. Money doesn't grow on trees, Amanda.
Yep.
There's never enough.
Can't spend what you haven't got.
Yep. You got to work hard for it. You got to scrimp and save. And it took me so many years to break free of that.
Yep.
Since I was a very young child,
Yep.
I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have choices in my life.
Yeah, it's what Kim was talking about. Yeah.
Ask yourself, girlfriend, have you ever gone to bed at night with a stomach ache, worrying about how you're going to pay the bills, how you're going to put food on the table, how you're going to make it to the next paycheck? I have been in that space so many times that I made a decision that I needed to change something within myself to be able to become a different person, to attract a different result.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hoping and wishing and praying
Yeah.
will not change the result.
No, and again, it comes way back to the beginning of this conversation that we started,
Yeah.
which is if you've got your self-worth is not, if you're not investing in yourself first, then you can't expect possibly for your customers to be attracted to your business.
They're going to see it. They're going to smell the fear.
Yeah, and the icky, what do you call it? The stinking thinking
The
around.
stinking thinking. Put a comment in if you believe you have stinking thinking. Don't worry, I used to have it.
Yep.
However,
and I have days where I have it. I'm
Yes.
thanks to, a lot of learning, not met now, but I really did. And there's days where I still do, where I get that doubt. But if you can anchor yourself back to what you're talking about, which is soulful serving, heart-filled, and you believe in what you're doing, there is going to be the days, isn't there, where someone said something, like you said, wake up in the morning, check your phone, there's a icky email from somebody. There's always going to be those days.
I don't even have a charge on that. It doesn't affect me because I understand that money comes from serving.
Yeah, right.
And the only way you're going to have any money is through serving. How else are you going to get it unless you inherit it or you marry into money? And
Yeah.
Kim Kiyosaki says, finding a rich partner is not a good money plan.
Financial plan,
Or
yeah.
you win the lottery. The only way we're going to end up with money is to soulfully serve.
Yeah.
Have a business that we're aligned with.
Yeah.
Care about other people. That's where the money comes from. Doesn't that make you feel fabulous?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
the more money you have in your bank account, so in time you can create assets
Yeah.
and you become a master of your money. To me, that's a rich life. And that's what Kim Kiyosaki teaches all these beautiful women talk about, having an enriched life.
And
freedom and choice.
I've just learned something there. So, and I always do every minute of the day working on this project, is that actually looking in my purse and looking in my bank account and seeing the money flowing in is actually me looking at it and going, wow, look at all the people that I'm serving.
Changing lives.
Yeah, the gratefulness around the money, which I have, is now going to be turned. I'm going to be journaling this tomorrow morning, is that it's actually...
Hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, I know. This is a I've got my pen and pencil, but I probably should pay attention. Is that it's actually looking at the bank account and going, thank you, because I've done so much service that I'm having this much money in my bank. Not, oh, look at me, I'm earning money and I'm wheeling and dealing like a lot of people have around money. It's actually, look at the amount of people I've served.
And you don't feel guilty when you're truly serving from your heart and you truly care about people, solving problems. Where's the guilt in that?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get up in the morning and serve my customers.
Yeah. And how do you, so again, I'd love to give the ladies a bit of homework to do. What is it, something that they could do to try and alleviate a little bit of this charge around money? Like what little activity could they do? And I say little because I don't mean little and less powerful. I mean just a small amount of time could they start to alleviate their charge around money?
I would ask you a question. Imagine what your life will be like in 1 year from now if only you turned your life compass by just 1 degree and took the attention away from yourself in your business and spent some time elevating your self-worth, thinking about the customers that you want to attract and soulfully serving them through your products and services, how your life would change, how your family's life would change, and how your customers' life would change. In 1 year from now, what could it look like? And that's the question I would leave you with today.
That's a pretty exciting activity to do because it should.
And come back and tell me your comments. I
yeah,
want to know.
Absolutely. And if you've done the other things we've talked about around self-worth, net worth, this feeds beautifully into that because it's, spending the 15 minutes on yourself could be just this activity, and then you can sit down and spend and think about, go a little bit, as I call it, a little bit Disney and think about, wow, imagine what my life could be like if I looked in my bank account and was grateful for all this money arriving because of all the people I was serving.
Exactly.
So I think we've got a question from somebody. I'm going to get a lovely, gorgeous Carmel to bring it in. Thank you. Okay. So Vicky asks, what can I do to change my money mindset? Where do I start? All my money goes into paying my bills. I just don't know where to start. Thanks, Vicky. We appreciate your question.
Vicky, the first thing I would say to you is just sit and relax and ask yourself, how can things change? And don't go straight into putting the wall up, things like that, and just put a little bit away, a few dollars away for yourself. Pay yourself first is the number one thing. The moment you start to pay your self-worth and value yourself, the bills will take care of themselves down the track. You can part pay, put them off for a month, find different ways, ask different questions. Remember this, ladies, the quality of our questions determines the quality of our life. I understand, I've been there myself. I have the same bills, the same problems as everybody else. And yet when the money comes in the bank, the first person I pay is myself because I need to be the best version of me to show up in the world for my family and my customers. Yep. The bills will be paid in time, but you will see that magic things start to happen. When you start to appreciate yourself more by paying yourself first, other people will appreciate you more. You will attract more customers and you'll have more money to be grateful for. It is just a universal law.
I was just going to say, it is fact. There is no if, but, or maybe around this. And I've read it a lot over the years and thinking, oh, that's all great. But, there were times where actually there, it felt like there wasn't $1 to spare, and I took the advice and without it's almost bizarre that you just, things show up that you weren't expecting, bills are credited, like there's just this universal law. You're right, Amanda. And I think, saying to Vicky, just start.
And answer the question and do the couple of little bits of homework I shared and your life will begin to change, gorgeous, I promise you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I hope today out of issue 2, it inspires you to do these actions, and not just inspires you, it actually drives you to take the actions that we've just talked about. I think there is so much wisdom that Amanda has shared. Please take the time. If one of the things that you can do is where you're giving your time to yourself is wake up and watch these interviews and conversations that Amanda's having with these contributors, because the wisdom that Amanda shares coupled with their wisdom together, it is so powerful. And more powerful, not more powerful, but as powerful and mind-blowing is what we've got coming up in issue 3, and particularly our our cover story. So do you want to tell people who our gorgeous lady is? It's
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
It was one of my favourite conversations. And I say that about every conversation I have with these global
No, but you
leading.
came off from this one beaming, and yeah.
Right behind me to my right here, or my right, maybe your left, is the beautiful Dr. Gloria Mayfield Banks. Now, Dr. Gloria Mayfield Banks, I should say, is the #1 sales director for the Mary Kay Cosmetic Company. Now, out of 3.5 million consultants, she is the #1 world leading sales director, and our conversation was nothing short of electric. That was the word you read my mind, so I'm not going to share anymore.
No.
Issue 3 coming out next month. I cannot wait to share it, and you'll be dancing in your seat just watching it.
Absolutely. I mean, our team have watched the interview and they weave, their magic into the words for your magazine article to read. And our editor was, I cannot cut this down. It is the most powerful interview. So we're so excited to bring you that in issue 3. But before we get to issue 3, don't forget to read issue 2. We are sharing this with you because we want you to learn and we want you to grow. So make sure that if you're not already, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the magazine, it's free for 12 months. Follow us on our Facebook pages, our Instagram, because Amanda and the team are always sharing the most wonderful wisdom to help move you along and elevate you on the journey. It's really important. Now, Amanda doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm going to flip the script a bit, Amanda. In the conversations that you have with these amazing women, you ask them a particular question, and it is, what do you specifically want to be known and remembered for? And I'd like to pose that question for you. What is it, as we leave these beautiful ladies today, what is it that you want to be specifically known and remembered for?
It's a fabulous question, and I'd love for you to ask yourself this too. If I was to answer that question, I would love to be known and remembered for being a lighthouse for entrepreneurial women like yourself and elevating your self-worth, your net worth and your life worth, turning you into a millionairess from the inside out and enriching lives for generations to come, because you truly deserve it. You are worthy. And in fact, this mission means so much to us, so much to myself, that I live and breathe it. And in fact, I don't know if you can see here, we each wear this beautiful pendant that says Millionairess, net worth, life worth and self-worth. And every day I jump out of bed and I cannot wait to soulfully serve women like yourself, and that is what I would love to be remembered for. It's a beautiful question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I wanted you to hear that, because this isn't more than just a magazine. It's a movement, and we want to elevate you. We want to be right beside you on your journey as entrepreneurial women so that you can live the life that you truly deserve to. Thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing your wisdom.
And I'm saying thank you.
I was about to do the same. Yeah, I was getting there. And thank you for everyone that's taken the time to either you're watching us live. We absolutely appreciate taking your time to be with us. And for anyone who's watching this after our live, we appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I know for sure that if you listen to the messages that we've shared with you today from Amanda and the wisdom from our contributors, that it will turn your life that 1 degree and the difference will be incredible. Thank you again, and we'll see you next month.
See you then. Bye for now.